Good afternoon, everyone. Brother Dwayne here in the living room doing a Mornings with Jesus devotional, except it's not morning. I'm feeling some better today. Happy Monday, everybody. Well, that's Baloo the bird. He likes to get excited and he likes to intervene or, put himself in videos. So there he is. All right, we're on January 27th. We only got one job this morning, another slow day. This month has been horrible for work, but God still provides. So even though not much income is there, I'm doing my utmost in 2026 to be a better steward of my finances and to give when I feel led to give. Of course, gave at church this past week, and I've given. Well, there's someone that I know. I'm not trying to. This is by no means trying to boast. I've already been blessed for it, so the blessing's already come and gone. But somebody I know personally in their ministry, that's good ground to sow seed in. So it's someone that I know personally who would not waste it. And another ministry, I've listened to them for years, but I've never sown anything financially, and I felt convicted for that, so I did, and they were very grateful. So I'll probably sow some more at some point. But this is what you have to do with giving, wherever you're going to give. Imagine it as an empty field. If it's a good ministry, it's a godly ministry, God is in it, God is moving, you have some good soil where you're going to sow some seed. You're going to plant some seed, God's going to grow it, and He's going to bless you, and you're going to reap a good harvest from it. But these ministries like TV ministries, the big prosperity preachers, that's corrupt ground where people are sowing seed there and they're not getting anything back. That's a perfect analogy. It's very simple. Hopefully somebody gets that. But anyway, so I'm always sure to give to good ground because I always get something good back. So I said all of that to say that God takes care of us even when you might not have that much coming in. You can sow what you got, be a good steward of your finances, and everything's going to be taken care of. Because the Bible verse used in context, says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That was about finances. It wasn't about anything else in context. Mark 1:33-35 in the NIV version says, the whole town gathered at the door, and Jesus healed many who had various diseases very early in the morning. While it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. And I've been reading a book on prayer. It talked about Jesus doing that. Very convicting book about prayer, and I had a few tears in my eyes as I was praying. And notice how Jesus prayed when different times, of course. There was no one set time every day. Well, it's noon prayer time. Got to set everything aside and go pray. Jesus didn't do that. He prayed at various times. He was being real. He prayed when it called for it. When he was filled with emotion, whether good emotion or bad, he prayed. That's a pattern for us to pray. I think we should do the same thing. When your emotions are overloaded, maybe you're depressed, maybe you're sad, you're grieved, or overjoyed. Take a time out. Go talk to the Lord. Pour out your heart. That's good counsel. That's Bible. All right. I want to start with verse 29 in Mark chapter 1. Boy, Baloo, you're being noisy over there. Very noisy. Many diseased and possessed are helped. Verse 29 in Mark chapter 1. And forthwith, when they were come out of the synagogue, they entered into the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. But Simon's wife's mother, that's Peter, his mother-in-law, lay sick with a fever, and anon they tell him of her. And he came and took her by the hand, and lifted her up, and immediately the fever left her, and she ministered unto them. So, pretty quick healing. She got up and she started serving them. Right on. And at even, when the sun did set, they brought unto him all that were diseased, and them that were possessed with devils. Demonized is a better translation. This is King James. It's my Platinum Bible. And all the city was gathered together at the door, and he healed many that were sick of diverse diseases, many kinds of sicknesses, and cast out many devils, and suffered not the devils to speak, because they knew him. See, at this time, he didn't want anyone to know who he was, his true identity. He just wanted to preach the kingdom of God at the beginning of his ministry. So the demons were going to tell everybody who he really is, and he didn't want that. And in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place. See, he went by himself because he didn't have a home. He had nowhere to lay his head, right? No place to call his home. And there prayed. And Simon and they that were with him followed after him. And when they had found him, they said unto him, All men seek for thee. And he said unto them, Let us go into the next towns, that I may preach there also, for therefore came I forth. And he preached in their synagogues throughout all Galilee, and cast out devils. Let me just say that not enough Christians today are casting out devils, because there's a whole lot of devils to be found. Not under every rock and every tree, but there are many. Trust me on that. All right, our author, Carrie Wyatt. Can't see the last name. She's written several in here. Okay, Blue, quiet so I can read this, please. Life gets crowded sometimes. The needs of family, the pressures of work, the delicate drama of friendships, all create a pressure on us that can feel overwhelming. Jesus experienced and understood this. His days were full, and he took it in stride when the whole town showed up at his doorstep looking for help and healing. He willingly gave them what they needed. But the next morning, he did something some of us might consider selfish, if we dared to do it ourselves. He escaped from the people and their demands. He walked out for a little while, and even his closest friends. Jesus came to earth to die for us, but also to live in front of us. If we want to be close to him, the only way to do it is to imitate him, to live as he would in our place, to make his spiritual practices ours. Throughout the Gospels, this refrain echoes. Jesus went to a solitary place. Jesus regularly engaged in the spiritual discipline of solitude. What drove him away from the adoring but demanding crowd? Certainly not obligation or guilt. Rather, he valued his relationship with the Father more than the approval of people. When it feels like the whole town is gathered at your door asking for your help, it can be seductive. We love being needed, even if it wears us out a bit. When we follow Jesus to a solitary place, we are replenished, paradoxically, by the privilege of being needy ourselves and realizing that only God can meet those needs. In Jesus' presence, we gain proper perspective on what really matters. All right, if the bird was too loud for you to hear me, I apologize for that. I might need to go back and listen. Here's the faith step at the bottom, and I will let you all go. Tomorrow, get up early to spend some time in solitude, alone with Jesus. Enjoy his presence in a simple and quiet way. All right, we're coming near the end of this month in January. Once again, I still haven't decided which one I'm going to read next, but it's all going to be good. Hope to see you there. God bless you. Appreciate you. I will see you in the next Mornings with Jesus devotional. Bye, Baloo.